Hi, Yoga on the Porch family. It's Crystal. I've just made it home from a nice long walk out in the pasture behind our house, the field. Worked up a nice sweat. Was able to clear my thoughts a bit. And getting ready to settle in for another evening of Netflix. I thought I would lead you tonight in just a quick, if you've been walking or running or, getting some exercise and you just want a short stretch to help you kind of loosen up, lower body especially, as well as the lower back. I thought we'd do one of those tonight just to be different. And then I have a reading from the Yamas and the Niyamas for you when we finish out. So just from a gentle, easy seated pose, let's go ahead and let's cross our feet at the ankles. Sitting up nice and tall on those sits bones. Let's bring that left hand across the right thigh and turn and just glance behind you. We're pressing the right hands nice and firm into the ground. Sitting up nice and tall. Then we'll rotate back to the front and we'll switch. Just go ahead and sit up nice and tall for me. Place that right hand on the outside of the left thigh and then rotate. Yogis come to practice with us tonight. Okay, let's turn back to the front. Let's bring your feet together. Got some beautiful mud on my ankles. The earth. It's good to see the grass turning green. The hostas are blooming. Just rock back and forth for me on those sits bones. Pulling those heels in towards the groin. Sitting up nice and tall. Take a nice big deep breath in. And then let's exhale and bring our heads forward. And then we'll round it all the way back up to the top. Let's uncurl those feet and we'll come on all fours. Practicing our cat-cow, dropping your belly. And then on your exhale, rounding your back. And just repeat, following your breath. Good, one last time through. We'll come back to a nice flat back. Let's tuck your toes under. Let's move up into our downward facing dog and bicycle your feet. Good, spread those fingers nice and wide, driving the chest towards the upper thighs, releasing our heels towards the mat. I'm teaching right now. You want to be in it?
No.
No?
No.
Come on, Mickey. Bring your right knee forward.
Where are the girls at?
I don't know. Check the back. Come on to the left thigh for pigeon, or you can practice 4-point with the knee or the top of the quad pressing right up against the sole of the foot. Let's open up those hips, walking it forward. And then walking those hands all the way back up to the top. Let's separate your feet. Let's practice our seated forward fold. Chest nice and open. Roll those shoulders back. Before we walk it forward, let's practice opening up the sides, lateral flexion from our seated position here. So let's take your right hand, let's slide it alongside the inside of that right foot, and then lift the hand up and over, reaching towards the toes. You don't necessarily have to touch. Just make sure that shoulder's rolling back. Good. Let's bring it all the way up. Now we'll walk it forward. Nice flat back. Lead with the heart. Lead with the belly. Walk those hands back up. Now let's take that left arm. Let's slide it alongside the inside of the left thigh. Rolling the right shoulder back and open, reaching towards the toes, not necessarily touching. And back to the top. Let's walk it forward one more time. Nice big deep breaths in through your nose. Good. Let's walk those hands up. Bring the feet in. Let's practice our staff pose. So for staff, we're sitting again evenly on those sits bones. You can kind of rock back and forth. The toes are flexed. Inhale, bringing the arms overhead, and then exhale, we'll reach towards your feet. You don't necessarily have to touch. You can hold onto your shins, to your ankles, wherever it's most comfortable. Again, try to keep a flat back as opposed to rounded. So bring that heart up and open. Allow those hamstrings and calves to lengthen out. Good, let's roll it all the way back up. Take those feet out from under you. Let's come back up into our downward facing dog. Let's flow through one time. Come into plank. You can be on the knees if you're modifying. Exhale slowly, bend those elbows, squeeze the rib cage. Inhale, bring the chest through for up dog or a modified cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Now from here, let's walk those hands towards the feet and let's hang out literally in a standing forward fold. Beautiful. You can keep the knees bent if you're protecting the back, or you can go ahead and extend the hips towards the sky. You're wanting more length, more sensation in the backs of the legs. On your next inhale, we'll find monkey pose with the fingertips on the mat or the palms flat on the shins. And then on the next inhale, we'll come all the way up. Good. Exhale, release. Let's step back and find our second warrior. Tucking the tailbone under, releasing right knee open towards the outside of the foot. Then let's reverse it back. And then back to that second warrior. Let's fold it over, one hand on either side of the foot. Walk those feet slightly apart. Let's find our crescent. You can have this left knee on your mat or you can have it lifted. Wonderful stretch for the hip flexors. Twist, bringing that left elbow across the right knee. Turning up, looking towards the right elbow. And release, let's switch. Find your downward facing dog. Step forward with the left. Let's find our second warrior. Relaxing those shoulders. Reversing it back. Back to our second warrior. Let's windmill those arms up and over, walking the feet apart, one hand on either side of that front foot. Let's find our crescent on the opposite side. Make sure that ankle's directly underneath your knee. And we'll twist. Right elbow on the outside of the left quad. Press into the outside of that quad and then turn. Try to find that left elbow. Good, release. Let's press back into down dog. Let's come all the way down to your knees and find your child's pose. Walking those hands out in front. Good, walk the hands up. We're gonna come to a seated position. You're gonna lie all the way back. We're gonna practice the spinal rotation, and then I'll finish us up for tonight's brief post-exercise yoga stretch. Feet hips distance apart. Inhale, bringing the heart open, opening the throat and the third eye, and then exhaling and rounding the back. One vertebra at a time, just slowly lowering. Eventually bringing those shoulders, the neck, and the head to rest on your mat. Then we'll bring those knees in to the chest. Let's take the right knee over the top of the left. Let's take our left hand up, place it on the outside of the right thigh, and guide the knees across the midline. Then extending the right hand out and away from that shoulder. Beautiful. Come back to the center. Pull those knees in. Let's practice happy baby. Bring those big toes into the first two peace fingers, or you can hold on to the ankles and then just rock back and forth. And coming back to the center, let's cross the left over the right. Guide those knees across your midline. Extend the left hand away from the shoulder. And come back to the center. Good. Give them a great big hug. Then let's place the feet together in reclining butterfly. Those knees just relaxed, open to the side. You can also come into your final relaxation pose, rolling the shoulders under, placing the backs of the hands on the ground beside you. Stay right there. I just want you to enjoy some deep breaths in through your nose and out. With each exhalation, I want you to sink just a little deeper into your mat or into the ground beneath you. Just locating those last areas where you might still be holding on to some tension, and then releasing those areas, just softening them. I'm gonna finish us out tonight. I can hear the frogs and the birds. So amazing. As we finish out tonight on the porch, preparing for our sunset, I'm gonna share with you the jewel of Satya tonight. Satya is truthfulness. Is my yes coming from a dark corner or from the light in my heart? I've had to ask myself that a lot this past school year. People who are quote unquote nice hold truth inside until they reach a breaking point and they become dangerously inappropriate. I know because I used to be such a person. Real comes for the center of our unique essence and speaks to the moment from that center. Real has a boldness to it, an essence, a spontaneity. Real asks us to live from a place where there is nothing to defend and nothing to manage. It is a contact with the moment that is not superimposed or prepackaged. Real is something we might not always like in another, but we come to know there will be no surprises. Real, though not always pleasant, is trustworthy. What is driving you to distort yourself or silence yourself or say yes when you mean no? What is so dangerous in the moment about the truth that you are choosing to lie? These are the questions that merit our pondering. Hellinger says that as long as we stay within the approval of the group, we experience the innocence of belonging. However, When we begin to grow in directions beyond the group, we experience guilt in regards to the group. The truth of our freedom carries the price of guilt. However, when a conflict arises between the need to belong and the need to grow, we have to make a choice. We must either sacrifice a part of ourselves to maintain our belonging, or we must risk the approval and the support of the group by growing. Truth rarely seems to ask the easier choice of us. Carl Jung understood the fluidity of truth when he made the statement that what is true at one time for us, at some point, no longer serves us and eventually becomes a lie. He understood that our truth changes over time. The guideline of truthfulness asks us to update our beliefs and values and views in order to stay current with ourselves and our surroundings. So I ask you tonight, Yoga on the Porch family, what are we so afraid of? What might my life look like if I were willing to contact truthfulness in every moment? And in conclusion, I know that in embarking on nonviolence, I shall be running what might be termed a mad risk. But the victories of truth have never been won without risks. And that concludes our short post-workout practice. Namaste. And I'll see you again soon.